very much. Hello everybody. I think that was a great overview from Brett there. Just a couple of points on some of the comments he made with regards to measuring the blog. So can everybody hear me first of all? You hear me in the back? Excellent. Google Analytics, it's not something we're going to go into today, but it's a free tool. For those of you that haven't seen it, it will tell you exactly how many visits your blogs are getting, how long they stay on your blogs, whether they're going to visit other pages afterwards. So it's a very good tool for measuring the performance of the blogging, really. The other point I wanted to make was on frequency. Multiple times per day is a lot of blogging for any organisation, really, especially small businesses. So to support SEO, really, you do need to have those blogs on your website. But don't forget Twitter. It's a micro blog, so you have, I think it's about 140 characters out. Yeah, 140 characters there to get short snippet-sized messages out, and that is a fantastic way of communicating multiple times per day. And I think in some other research by Brett recently, I think that the guideline there was about 15 posts per day on Twitter. So, you know, these are all based on research about what works best for businesses, really. But Twitter and blogging go very closely, and they work hand in hand. So this is the part of the presentation that could go horribly wrong. I'm going to get into a live demonstration in a bit of actually installing and configuring WordPress, which I'm hoping will work. But before I do that, I'd just like to ask around the room, does everybody, well, do people have blogs already? What platforms are people using, Guy? WordPress. Any others? Sorry? Blogger. Pardon? Tumblr. Okay, fantastic. Well, the two main are WordPress and Blogger. Our preference is for WordPress for a whole host of reasons, really. The first being that it's free and open source. So Blogger's free, WordPress is free. There's no difference there, really. You don't have to pay for these platforms. But the real benefit of WordPress is that there's literally a worldwide community of people supporting WordPress and developing on the technology. I think it's also the world's #1 blog. So if you're looking for support, you're looking for lots of free bits and pieces, WordPress is definitely the one to go for. And the biggest benefit for us is the number of plugins available. So typically with a blog or with a website, you would go back to your developer, ask them to build you a piece of functionality, and you would pay for that. It might take them several weeks or months to develop. With WordPress, there's literally hundreds of pieces of code out there that will do anything from social sharing of your blog to integration with Google Analytics, newsletter sign-up, you name it, really. If there's something you want your blog to do, there'll be a plugin for it, and most likely it will be free. So, quite often a question I get asked is which blog and why. Google's Blogger is very popular, and some people might think it's better given the fact it's a Google product. My personal preference is for WordPress because it gives you a lot more control, power and flexibility over the blog and the maintenance of that blog. And just to give you a little bit of an indication, I don't know if any of you recognise that face there, but if you follow Google and the changes that they're making, Matt Cutts is their sort of chief SEO spokesman. He's the go-to person for anything regarding Google and how that's evolving as a company and as a search engine. And his own personal blog is on WordPress, not Google's Blogger. So I think that gives you an idea of how well liked WordPress is as a technology, really, even by Google itself. So there's two different types of blogs, really. The first one there, the on-site blog we've called it, it might come by other names as well, it's where you have a blog hosted on your website. So I've used our domain name there as an example, Opace. But typically it will end with a /blog, or you might call it news, or it might be testimonials or case studies, whatever you decide to use your blog for. You can give that sort of directory a name that suits your purpose for blogging. But for the purpose of this, we'll call it blog. The other type is an off-site blog, and that's the flavour that you'll get with Blogger, and WordPress.com offer sort of off-site blogs where you effectively set up a subdomain on that blog. So maybe opace.wordpress.com or opace.blogger.com, similarly with Tumblr and the other technologies out there, you would host them on their websites. There's some advantage to that, and in my opinion, there's probably more disadvantages to going down that route, which I'll come on to now. I'm not going to go through all of those bullets, I can't actually read them from here anyway. The biggest benefit for me of having an on-site blog is the fact that you're keeping your website up to date with fresh, relevant, unique content. These are all factors that Google are placing a high importance on at the moment with their changes. So they're not ignoring links. Links are very important for SEO, but it's becoming a lot more difficult to get high quality links, and the drive from Google is more towards having good quality websites that are updated and they're kept fresh. And the best way to do that is through a blog. It's very difficult to have a static corporate type website that you keep up to date on a regular basis. The best way to do that is through having regular news or blogs that you can publish to your sites. So for me, having an on-site blog is the most important thing any company can do, really, to naturally, organically help their SEO. Sometimes I get asked, well, what about links? Surely if you have a blog on WordPress.com, every time you publish a blog, you can link back to your site, so you're getting lots of links. But there might be a little bit of benefit to that, maybe none. In my experience, having lots of links coming from a single site doesn't have very much value for SEO, if any, because Google sees it as a marketing tool. You know, it's one single domain linking back to your company website, and I'm sceptical as to what value that actually provides these days for SEO. So I think certainly having an off-site blog is easy, they're very quick and easy to set up, but for SEO the benefit is probably to go with having an on-site blog. And hopefully in a minute I'll come on to how to do that and show you how easy it can actually be. Before I do that, I'll just mention keywords. As part of your blogging strategy and your internet marketing strategy as a whole, really, it's becoming very difficult to separate out blogging, social media, SEO. All of these things are becoming intertwined now under the kind of internet marketing umbrella, if you like. And driving all of that really is your keywords. If you want to be found, Google is the #1 place to be found, and you need to know what people are searching for. You have to have a very good idea of the words that they're putting into Google to find you, and that can be difficult because we've all got a relatively narrow idea of what our businesses are and what people search for. So, I mean, the very first thing I'd suggest to any business is write down your ideas, speak to your team, brainstorm them, get around a whiteboard or a flip chart and just jot them down. You know, no idea is stupid, just get them all down on a piece of paper and have as many different keyword variations as you can for the blog that you're looking to produce, or the series of blogs for that matter. An absolutely fantastic tool, for those of you that haven't seen it, is the Google Keyword Tool. Are you happy to type a few in, Brett?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
What I'd like to do now is just get some ideas from you guys around the room, really. I mean, what I'm going to attempt to do is publish or set up a blog and publish one in real time, and it will be about today's event. So the event today is blogging for business. What I'd like to do is just get a few ideas from people around the room about what keywords you would come up with for this event if you were to publish a blog about it. So, no need for hands, just shout out the keywords. It's a horrible captcha code that you have to fill in, and I can't read them half the time. But it's a relatively straightforward tool to use. It actually comes as part of the Google AdWords set of tools, but you don't need to have an AdWords account. You can just go to it. It's a publicly available tool that anybody can use. You don't need to know everything here. Just to give you an idea, this box at the top is where you enter your keywords. The website box is if you want to search on a particular website, which we don't. And you've got this horrible captcha code down here, which you have to enter the first time you go to the tool, just to show Google you are actually a person and not some kind of bot. Dave?
And you also want to choose the UK, not United States.
Yeah, good point. There's two configuration settings I'd advise for everybody using the tool. Is to change United States to UK. Sometimes it will load as UK depending on your local PC settings. I think you just click the X there, Brett, and then hopefully you can enter it somewhere. Is it? There you go. change that to UK.
Yeah.
I think that's possible. Is there a save or OK button?
And no, it just keeps like that until you
I
go
guess I
search.
click search down the bottom.
Do I need to put some?
I think it might be OK just clicking search, but if you type anything for the time being. Okay. So does anybody have a keyword for today's event?
Free business support.
Free business support, great one. Anybody else?
Free blogging tuition.
Free blogging tuition.
Blogging for business.
Blogging for business.
How to blog.
How to blog, brilliant. Yeah.
What is blogging?
What is blogging? Fantastic.
Blogging to make money.
Blogging to make money. Pretty sure that's going to come out top. We'll see in a minute. The other change I suggest is changing over here from broad to exact. So that will tell you exactly how many people each month on Google are searching for these keywords. That's what you're really interested in. So you can see in sort of the square-shaped brackets there, those are the keywords that we've come up with. And you can see global monthly searches, which obviously are global, and for me the most important ones for UK-based businesses that serve the UK are local searches. So at the top there we've got blogs, which doesn't surprise me really. How to blog comes number 2, what is blogging, free blogging for business 4, and free blog tuition surprisingly doesn't get any monthly searches, or if it does it's probably below 10 and Google doesn't report on it. The other very powerful feature of the tool are the suggestions a bit further down. So it's very difficult coming up with the right keywords, and what this tool does is it will provide you all of the other variations on those keywords that people are searching for. So what I like to do is do an export from this tool to Excel and basically just remove the ones that aren't relevant, and then you'll be left with a set of keywords that are relevant to your web page or blog, and then you prioritise those as a business. Does that make sense to everybody? A lot of what I'm going to go through now, I'm going to go through very quickly. Some of it might not go in, but we do have it on video, which you can refer back to afterwards. So those are the keywords. In a minute, I'm going to demonstrate setting up a blog and publishing a blog based around the blogging for business keyword, which I kindly asked Sarah to shout out during the bit we just did really. So a couple of terms as I'm going through it. I'll be using the term theme a couple of times. The theme is basically the design of your blog. It's the skin or design, the look and feel of your blog. The plugin is a bit of functionality that does something on your blog. So for example, I'll be showing a social sharing widget that lets you share your blogs on Facebook, Twitter and Google+. That's what's known as a plugin. And a widget, these are basically areas on your blog. So your theme will allow certain blocks or areas on the blog that you can configure to show certain bits of information. And what I'll be demonstrating in a moment is pulling in a plugin and some bits of functionality to those spaces on your blog page. And they're what's referred to as widgets. I think I've pretty much said all of that already, so I'm going to have a go now at running through the install of the blog. I may have to put down the microphone as well as I'm doing this, so if you can't hear me, do say, and I'll try and shout a bit louder. Right. Do you want to have the chair?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, by the way, what I'm going to show now is basically a feature you get with most hosting accounts. You can sign up for these from anything from £10 a year, really. And when you sign up for hosting, it will give you a control panel, and usually those control panels come with a tool called Soft Aculus, which gives you a one-click install basically for a whole number of technologies, WordPress being one. The other option you have is to go to wordpress.org and download the software. Relatively straightforward. You'll probably need a technical person or a developer to do that. What I'm about to show, really anybody can do it. It's very, very straightforward.